well, welcome back to the Dog Moms.
Hi.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you, dog moms? What you gonna do? What you gonna do
What
with
you gonna do
when they come for you, dog moms? Wow.
Well, thank you
Okay,
so
go.
much, Dr. Ross. He was not expecting
Let's
that
do that
amazing
again.
intro. We
All right, we
are
don't
the
need-
Dog
Yeah,
Moms,
that's right.
and my name is Chrissy, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host Amber.
Oh, hello.
And our lovely little guest star in there was Dr. Ross.
Dr. Ross.
And so we're here because we have a great show for you where we actually don't know the topics,
Nope.
but we're able to answer some hot topics.
That's right.
That's right.
Whiskey's running the show tonight.
Yeah, she's our little manager.
All right, not only do we have 4 different topics, but we also only get 4 minutes to answer
That's right.
questions and talk to each other about the topic, which is so much fun. We got the pet roulette. I get to click a little button and we dive right in. So should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it. And
All right.
honestly, I love this because also we're gonna be answering some questions that you guys have sent us too. So, but I think we have to get started with these topics.
Should we get started,
Let's get
Whiskey?
going.
Yes.
She has the
All right.
remote. She loves to
Let's
control
go.
it. Go for it. All right, what is gonna be, Whisk?
Home safety.
Home safety. So
Wow.
again, we don't know the topics, have never seen the wheels, so
So we're coming
Home
up with all the thoughts
safety.
right now.
Home
so,
safety,
I mean, this is
okay.
actually important because I think this comes even back to sometimes in rescues, they like require you to have a fence, and there's a lot of different things to keep your pets safe.
Yeah.
There's plugs, there's outlets, there's so many things that when you have a pet, you don't even realize that
That's
might
right.
be dangerous in your home. And I know with a toddler in my home, I've implemented even more safety into my house
Right.
because my toddler can like harass my dogs. It
Sure.
might be the opposite, but things like gates. I know you utilize
I
gates too.
love gates.
Yeah.
Some people think it's like, oh, you have gates, you're separating your dog from, but actually it's keeping my children, my child safe, and it's keeping my dog safe. It's also giving some balance back to the home. I have 5 dogs. We don't have a very big house. So it really helps us kind of build that safety
Yeah.
back in the home because honestly at dinner time we can separate them, we can have our dinner, my daughter can play and build her Lego set, the dogs aren't going to come bashing
That's
through and
right.
ruining it. It does allow us to offer some safety.
That's so true. And something that I do with my pets is I don't have as many dogs as you, but I do have cats too. And I have implemented some things to keep everybody safe and to give everybody space too.
I'm guessing they don't listen to gates because they can just jump right over
Oh,
it,
my
right?
cats jump right over the gates. Absolutely. I even have this little door in one of my I have this little hole in one of my doors down to my basement that allows my cats to kind of go through it, but my dogs can't.
That's
And this
right.
has been a huge thing for a multi-pet household because the dogs kind of want to eat the chocolate nuggets inside of the kitty box. So, but that
you don't
can
mean
make-
literal chocolate.
No, it's kitty chocolate.
Oh,
it's the
no,
nasty
so
stuff.
okay.
But that can make your dog really sick.
Yes.
And I know I'm not the only pet parent out there that struggles with dogs that might want to eat that nasty stuff. So having that has been a really great way that my cats can go somewhere to the bathroom. They get their privacy, but also the dogs can't access it too.
I know when I think about home safety, I think about outside of the home too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, when spring comes out, the flowers coming out, we all want to do fertilizer and things on our lawn. It's important that we also make sure the products we're using in the home and outside of the home are going to be safe for animals
Yeah,
and safe for our
that's so true.
pets. You know, I was using like a carpet, like refresher dust, and then you vacuum it up and it makes your house smell really good. But you have to be very careful that you get the one that's appropriate for pets.
Right, that's
Yeah.
so true. There's so many different things to think about. One last thing that I do to keep my pets safe is I crate them for meal times and I crate them for chew time because I want to make sure that there's no resource guarding, there's no competition.
Yeah.
And even though they do all get along, I'm avoiding creating those scenarios where they might not, want to share something.
That's right.
So
What if you leave the home?
Exactly.
right.
So those things can be utilized to keep a safe home and a happy home. And I think that's a really important
I
topic.
think some people see crate training as something that's almost like not good for the dog, or that, you know, they shouldn't be in a cage. And some people really feel strongly about that. Maybe you have a lifestyle where you're with your dog all the time. But I know if I'm leaving my house for a few hours, I got to take my daughter to school, I got to take her to the doctor,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. You know, my younger dogs, it's for their own safety
Yep.
and my house safety that they are in crates, because I've had situations where, you know, Beasley was a puppy and he got into a bowl of M&Ms, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
if I was able or thought of creating him in that moment, I may have avoided that situation for him. And so there's so many uses of home safety that isn't just like what you do for the home to beautify your home, but also things that you can do to keep your family more sane and keep that safety in mind.
So I 100% agree with that. And we talk about safety in so many different ways. We can talk about it with our cars too. And I know that's your car and travel, but like all those ways, you don't even think about sometimes, like when you're traveling, ways to get your dog in the car. I just got a dog ramp for my car to keep my dog from hurting himself. And so it's like all of these things kind of tie into the safety of our home, our life with our pets, and that's just a huge part of being a dog mom.
It sure is.
All right, we got one more topic. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. All right, what are we gonna get this time? I can't even read them. They move so fast. It really is like I don't know what's gonna happen.
Oh, I know you love this one. Go crazy, go crazy, go crazy. Puzzle toys, puzzle toys, puzzle toys. All right, we don't need a theme song.
Thank you.
I will do the theme song.
I'm gonna call you next time I take them out of my cabinet.
Oh, yes.
Amber, I need that song. All right. Puzzle toys. I love puzzle toys. I love them for so many different reasons. And what I like is that you're seeing the coolest things come out now because it really has hit mainstream that mental enrichment is so important for your dog. Yeah. And I know that when we went through some times where we all had to be in our home, pandemic, things like that, everyone was going, please help me. What do I do with my high drive dog? I can't go out to the dog park or whatever it is. Puzzle toys come in a variety of different materials, a variety of different ways, from wooden to heavy plastics, and different levels of challenges, right? Do you have some favorites that you've used? Because
my goodness.
It's endless options.
There are so many out there, which is actually probably overwhelming for a pet parent. You're kind of wondering, what is the best option for me and my pet? And I think you really have to take into consideration your dog's style, your dog's preference. I have two very different dogs. This one would literally like tear apart anything to get into anything.
It?
She will just like, she doesn't destroy it, but like toys become really easy for her because she's smart, she's active, crazy food motivated, where my senior dog, Oakley, if he finds it slightly a little bit too hard, he just gives up. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
He's like, that's good.
So it's really nice to find those brands and those companies that kind of give you different varying levels, or maybe some toys that can be a little bit more difficult if you want it to be. So you can start it off simple, let your dog be really successful getting the treat out of the puzzle toy. And then for maybe a dog like her, or if your dog is starting to get more confident, they can make it a tiny bit harder, which I love those types of toys.
Some of the cool ones I found actually like tighten on the bottom. So the flaps or the things that turn actually are harder to push. It, like, it kind of tailors to your dog. They almost have
like a little, I've seen some that have like an opening where you can make it a small opening or a big opening. So for her, she gets the tiniest opening.
And so if you do get a puzzle toy, I always recommend that you sit with your dog first, help them get through it, show them where it's hiding. And also, some of them you don't want to just leave your dog with it and leave the house. Because, you know, I've definitely had a few that I've had to toss out because they rip it open. If it's too difficult, they're going for it. They're going to find it no matter what, and you don't want that to injure your
my
dog.
dogs are not destroyers, but there are some of them that I don't want to leave out because then it also kind of loses its like high value.
You can rotate them.
Right, so having like an array of options. I love that there's so many brands that come up with puzzle toys now because you have like limitless options to give your dog. And fun fact, everybody, you don't need a puzzle toy to give your dog this fun enrichment. If you just have some grass or a blanket or boxes, you can make puzzle toys at home. You can just toss a handful of treats or kibble into the grass and it's like the best snuffle mat, nature's snuffle mat.
I think you and I have both been guilty of like, sometimes it's feeding time.
Let's go outside.
And we're just like, go find it, right?
But they find that so much fun.
Well, yeah, it exhausts them,
I've literally taken towels, which like, I mean, it's so easy, but I'll sprinkle treats along the towel, roll the towel up, tie the towel together, and then that towel becomes a puzzle toy.
It does, it does.
Or cardboard boxes. Guys, I don't throw away cardboard boxes. I take like milk jugs, cardboard boxes, paper towel rolls.
Yes.
And those are puzzle toys if you think about it, as long as your dog doesn't ingest it.
And I've seen some really cool DIY where they have like your big soda bottles and they have on a pole and they have to flip the soda bottle over for the treats to fall out.
See, that one does seem a little bit tricky.
Get Nick to do it. Come on.
Yeah,
We'll just hire our husbands and you do the thing and then we get to just use it.
Yeah,
right?
I love it. And I also I'm always gonna bring cats into the picture, but it's kind of funny because I love to find ones I can use for both my dogs and my cats.
That's a good one.
My cats love them. And it keeps them from
out of your cabinets?
Yes, my cats climb into my cabinets in my fridge. So it keeps them
Puzzle toys are great.
Yeah.
Endless world of them. We're big fans.
Or make your own.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, another topic.
Let's do it.
My favorite little clicker button.
All right, here we go. Where are we going?
Oh boy.
Loaded question. Training tools. Wow. Training tools.
Training tools. That's a loaded topic.
It is such a big topic, and it really depends what type of trainer you are.
Yeah,
right?
that's so true.
There's
a lot of different training
giant
methods
array.
out there. And I think one thing that we kind of bond over is, you know, no matter what type of tool someone uses, I think majority of people that are training their dogs, they have good intentions and they want what's best for their dog. And so it's really important that we acknowledge that if someone trains differently than us, to see that they're doing what's best for them and their dog.
Right.
And maybe if you use different tools than someone else, then you guys can still bond over the fact that you're both working with your dog, you're training your dog, and you can kind of learn from other people too, which I love.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think it's about just understanding where your needs are coming from with your dog. I'm a big positive reinforcement trainer. So again, my house is going to be full of treats and toys.
And clickers. I love clickers.
And we were just talking about like, hey, what's your favorite treat pouch? It's like talking about what your favorite like new shoes are or whatever you're using. For dog trainers, we're like, what's the exciting thing out there? And also I think, you know, training tools comes in a lot of different varieties of treats and toys and reward, but we have like our dogs are wearing different gear as well.
That's so true.
You know, your leash and your collar is a training tool. And I think some people lose track of that. And there's lots of things that you can do that works best for you and your dog. For example, Whiskey's here on a harness. Widby's here on a collar. And there might be reasons why we choose to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's certain tools that can really make training a lot easier for you and your dog. And I think it's important to like bring it back to like not relying on tools. You know, granted, food can be a tool, but I don't work without getting paid either. So I always pay my dogs for doing a good job. They deserve it. But you know, you don't want to rely on any tool because training really comes back to the relationship, the communication that you have with your dog. And a tool is there to assist you and to help you. It's not supposed to be your dog only listens if you are holding a treat. Or your dog only listens when you're holding the leash, right? We want to be able to communicate with our dogs without the training tools because the tools can become a crutch if you're not careful.
Definitely. And honestly, I always recommend, you know, we're flooded on social media. You just talk about dog training and our phones are going to be showing all sorts of different tools on our phone now. But I think it's important that if you do run out and get some training tools because it worked for your friend's dog, you always pair it with going with a trainer that can help you implement this, use it properly, fit it to your dog properly, because sometimes that gets missed, and really set you up so that you and your dog can have great success.
That's so
and
true.
then have a consistency with that training tool that you use. You know, some of this is a learning curve. You might get something and it doesn't work right away, and maybe you need to work with a trainer so that you can get the best use out of whatever it is that you choose to use with your dog. Do you have a favorite tool?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really love this type of harness, but again, every dog fits it so differently because this type of harness doesn't fit well on my dog Oakley. But I love using the front buckle harnesses for giving people kind of the immediate like help and guidance when teaching their dog. And then of course, treats are like, they go such a long way.
Oh my gosh, they really
I tell
do.
everyone like, give your dog treats for just existing and being calm and being in this environment, because whatever you reward, your dog's gonna keep doing. So rewarded the right thing is what's
It's so
important.
true, and it's not just rewarding the things they do, sometimes it's rewarding the things they don't do, right? So it can be having that calm behavior and rewarding that too. It's not always your dog has to be out and doing things. We do tricks and crazy stuff, but also sometimes having our dog just be with us here is a great time to tell them they're doing a good job.
That's right, reward more, nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I want to be rewarded for nothing. That sounds great.
Can I get some chocolate, please? All right, I think that was our time, and we do have another topic.
We do. We're almost there. We're almost ready for my next part, which I love. Puppy training.
Puppy.
Oh my gosh.
I want another puppy.
Puppy. So I say, I like, you know, when I think of puppy training, it's like there's an excitement and then there's like a,
oh my gosh.
you know, because it can be
enjoy
so, I know, but it can also be so stressful to pet parents, and they don't expect it's going to be that hard.
Have you ever heard of the puppy blues?
You know, you mentioned it the other day, and I was like, that's a great way to describe it.
People have it because I think when you're getting a puppy, especially first-time dog owners, granted, like I've grown up with dogs and I've trained dogs for 13 years, so it's never been a surprise to me. But I knew what I was getting into. A lot of people don't. And they get so excited for a new puppy. They have all these these dreams in their mind that they're imagining, and then when the puppy comes home, it's peeing everywhere, it's pooping everywhere. They are dealing with a puppy screaming in its crate, it's chewing up their whole house, it's biting them, and they're like, this is not
what I thought
it was going to be.
Yeah. And that's so stressful because, you know, you take them in, you're so excited. I watched this video the other day, of a girl who rescued 2 dogs in an apartment, and she brought them in, and it was like she was trying to capture the first moments of her dogs, and it was like, yay, this is so exciting. And then unfortunately, one of the puppies just like squatted and peed, and you could see the realization on her face where she was just like,
this is my life now.
Oh no. And it was like, but I feel you, girl. I feel you.
I do.
Because it is that stressful sometimes. And you're like, this is so much fun. We're gonna bring a puppy home and the little toys you get to buy and the little things. And then the dog is peeing and pooping and chewed up your favorite shoes. You're like, so what should we tell people who are getting their puppy?
I think that's a great question. And like, I don't want to sound like, oh, this is like not real life, but I never had Whiskey chew up anything, and we never had a potty accident.
It's very lucky.
But the reason why is because we were on a strict management schedule. Strict management, strict potty training schedule. So she never had the chance to chew up anything. And she's never had the chance to have an accident because I was so regimented with when she went to the bathroom, if she ate something, if she drank something. Now I had the freedom to do that. Now if I had a puppy with a toddler, it would probably be like a totally different story. But you know, that was a dope, she also had a great setup from her breeder she came from. They had started that early on in her life. But, you know, I think that a lot of people give puppies way too much freedom.
Yes, I'm guilty of that because I have them. I'm like, I'm going to keep them in the kitchen until we get to this point.
And then you're like, oh,
and that same day I bring the puppy home, I'm like, you can go in the whole house.
Right,
like,
and then what happens is then
crazy.
they go on your white carpet and they poop on the carpet. So that's where it's like, I always have a rule with my puppies, and I used to raise puppies for people where we're on the leash almost all the time. The only time my puppy gets freedom to roam in the house is after they've gone to the bathroom. And once they go to the bathroom, they get like 20 minutes of playtime. We do intentional play. And then once it gets that like 30-minute mark, we go out back to the bathroom or we go back into the pen.
What is intentional play for people that don't know what that is?
That's a good question. Wow. Thanks, Chrissy.
You're welcome.
I like to play with my dogs and puppies, specifically not just throwing things back and forth, but we're using it as training. So teaching come, teaching touch, teaching chase the toy, teaching your dog how to follow your hand. All those things, like puppies don't come programmed. They don't know their name. They don't know how to come to you. So using play to teach them those things is a great way to integrate training
and
without,
keep it fun, right?
Without like it being a regimented training session.
It's so true. And another thing is, you know, for pet parents out there is, you know, do your homework for the type of puppy you're going to bring into the home, and also look for that place that does have a positive based reward system for your puppy, and get into some puppy classes because that early exposure, you know, being in a room full of other puppies where they actually can referee your puppies playing and keep it appropriate, and also be able to teach some of the basics and get your dogs used to what it's like to be out of the house, because that's eventually what people want to do with their dogs. They want to get them around and not have them be reacting to dogs and people and sounds.
I think that the power is finding a trainer, a positive trainer that's going to help you through those puppy training moments.
Exactly. And then using all of the training tools and all the fun stuff.
All right. I think that was our last topic.
I think it was yes? Okay.
I'm double checking.
Yes, okay. One more time.
I think that was our last topic, which means we get to get into the speed round question time.
All right. I imagine like a race car.
Woo. Okay, so in this session, we are going to answer your questions that you guys sent us online. And you can send us those questions. Can you tell them where? Yeah, so you can go to DOGTV.com/thedogmoms. You input your questions, gets a chance for them to be right here on the show. We have no idea what they are. That's the cool part. We're gonna pick a card, and then we're gonna ask each other a question that you submitted. And we only have 60 seconds to answer, so we gotta get know what to say. We gotta get right to the point. Okay, sounds good. All right, I'm gonna give you a question to take. Take your pick. Take your pick. Who's the lucky? Who's the lucky one? All right, that's mine. Are you closing your eyes for it? I did. Whiskey, which one? Go ahead, Whisk. Grab it. All right. I'm going to go first today. All right, I'm going to ask you. Here we go. Okay, this is Ryan from Austin, Texas. What is the best way to get my dog comfortable with car rides? He always gets anxious. Oh, that one makes me kind of like my heart. I know. You know, it's actually interesting because she had a little bad experience in the car one time, and she's kind of been unsure about it. Now, there are so many things you can do, but I think the most important part is to designate time to get your dog comfortable with the car before you actually have to go somewhere. Also, pay attention to where you're going. If the only time that you're going in the car with your dog is to go to the vet, they're not really maybe loving that experience. So you want to make the car a really fun, really positive place to go. And something that's helped her immensely was having a safe spot for her where she feels comfortable. So I have a crate in my car that she sits in to prevent any motion sickness and anything like that. So she knows exactly where she's going. She loves her crate and it helps her relax in the car.
And sometimes there's things like calming aids and other things that you can use too. But I agree. I think if you just maybe even just go around the block and come home sometimes, start small.
Yeah, all of my dogs, I spent time in the car with them before I had to drive because when you're driving, you don't want to be distracted. So.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, we got another question.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's see what it is.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Chrissy, which of your dogs are you going to give to Amber? All right. Mark from New York City.
All right.
How do you introduce a new rescue dog to your home without overwhelming them?
Wow. Well, I guess that's a really loaded question. And I was first thinking, does he have another dog? Right? Is this like dog to dog? But if it's just I had a rescue, I brought him home. I really think that it's important to also view when you take your dog into the home, a good amount of decompression time. Right? Don't judge them on the first week that they came home, but give them time to assimilate into this world. And also, kind of goes back to a little bit of that puppy training. Give them some restricted access to around the home. Don't give them free run of the whole house. You guys have to figure out what your relationship's gonna be together.
Absolutely.
And you might have to unpack the history of this dog that maybe came from who knows where,
you don't know their
whatever
background.
situation. I have a friend who rescued a basset hound. That basset hound ran the streets her entire life.
Right.
So she had to really work on potty training because she had no concept of what that even meant. And she was like, she wasn't a puppy.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important, is just to give them decompression time and also give them boundaries and show them with positive reward what could be the right direction.
Now our time is up, but I do want to mention something. There is something that's called the 3-3-3 rule, which we generally say for the rescue dogs, and there's a ton about it all on the adoption show on DOGTV, which is all about rescue dogs, which is amazing. But 3 days for your dog to kind of decompress a little bit, 3 weeks for your dog to get settled in their home and kind of learn their environment, and 3 months to really bond with you. So I think taking the time is important. And the adoption show is all all about that on DOGTV.
Cool. I love that.
Well, that was the end of our show.
That was really good.
Oh
Remember, if you want to submit your own questions, you can go to dogtv.com/thedogmoms. We want to hear from you.
That's right. Well, guys, that was the Dog Moms episode. We had an amazing time, and we cannot wait to do this again. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Dog moms, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when they come for you, Dog Moms? Dog Moms, Dog Moms, what you gonna do? Oh.
Dog moms, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Dog moms.
Okay, well, my beautiful, newly bathed and groomed dog just jumped into.
I know, it's nice that you let her swim. She likes to swim.
Well, I figured
the water's so cold.
when she went halfway in, I was like, I give up. So I just.
He was about to chase her into the water, and I was like, I almost thought about taking him off to let him play, but I was like, if that's water cold and he hates
Yeah, see, with
I don't want to
her,
set him
I'm like,
up for failure.
she loves the water already, so I don't have to worry about how cold it is.
You're crazy.
But I mean, her breed is literally
Wild.
has like a double coat that's for keeping them warm in the water. So
Yeah.
it's supposed to also dry really quickly. And even
Girl.
Oakley was ready to join her.
I know. I think there's something under there.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I love this place though. I love that there's a dock. Like we should come back when it's super warm and we can take the boat out.
Dogs that you can jump off. All the dogs.
Well, we
can
go
jump off.
paddleboarding. She loves to go paddleboarding. I don't know about that. That makes me nervous.
You know, I
did it one time, but I'm like, with a dog, what if they jump off and scoot your paddleboard?
Well, I know I have two. So that means you can come with me.
Well, what if the dog jumps off and moves the paddleboard while you're standing?
You just get water. That's the worst thing that'll happen.
Oh, good Lord.
No, but I mean, once you get like a good balance, you don't have
Just
to stand
fall in the
on it.
water.
If you just sit on the board, it's not that bad.
There's things in the water that I can't see.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't live in
I
Florida
need those
anymore,
beautiful
so it's okay.
clear water.
There's no
beaches.
gators, so we're okay.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Hey, baby. Lucy's dying for me. Here, buddy.
Oh my gosh, go. He's not looking. He's looking for crumbs. Ow!
Oh my gosh.
Dude, whiskey.
Ed's getting her hands a lot.
Go get her.
There they go.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love just letting them be able to play, though.
I love being able to let them run around, you know.
She's in a little mood today, isn't she?
She's feeling very independent. Oakley wants to play too. He's like, we're playing with